We like to think intelligence protects us, that smart people believe smart things and only fools fall for nonsense. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of the smartest people on earth believe some of the dumbest things. Geniuses, doctors, professors, people with every reason to know better, fall for ideas that fall apart in seconds. And it turns out their intelligence doesn't save them. Sometimes it's the very thing that traps them. Before you feel smug, this includes you and me. Nobody's brain is immune to what we're about to cover. Because being smart isn't the same as being right. And clever minds are scarily good at locking in bad beliefs. So today, 7 reasons smart people believe dumb things. We'll count them down. Each one a trap your own brain probably falls into more often than you like to admit. And stick around for number 1. It's the scariest because it means facts alone can't fix it. Reason 7. Your brain doesn't work like a scientist. It works like a lawyer. A scientist looks at the evidence first, then carefully decides what's true. That's the ideal, but your brain usually does the opposite. It picks the answer it wants first, then builds the case to defend it. Psychologists call this motivated reasoning, and here's the twist. The smarter you are, the better your lawyer is. A clever mind can find a reason for anything. It out-argues every doubt, explains away every inconvenient fact. So an average person might just go, guess I was wrong. The genius? He talks himself right back out of it. His intelligence becomes a fortress, defending the belief instead of testing it. Brilliance in service of being wrong. The better you are at arguing, the easier it is to win an argument you should have lost, even against yourself. The first trap. A smart brain doesn't chase the truth. It defends whatever it already wants to believe. Reason 6. You don't see the world as it is. You see it through a filter, and the filter agrees with you. It's called confirmation bias. We notice, remember, and trust the things that fit what we already think. Evidence that agrees, it sticks instantly. Evidence that disagrees, it bounces right off or gets explained away. And now algorithms supercharge it. Your feed learns what you believe and feeds you more of it forever. You end up in an echo chamber where everyone agrees, and it feels like the whole world's on your side. A smart person can gather a mountain of supporting facts, but it's a mountain with one side carefully hidden. The more you research within the filter, the more certain you get. And the more certain, the more wrong you can be. So you don't feel biased. You feel informed. That's exactly what makes this one so hard to catch. The second trap. We mistake a one-sided search for an honest one and call our bias doing the research. Reason 5. Your brain cannot stand randomness. So it invents patterns, even where none exist. You see faces in clouds and sockets and burnt toast. That's your pattern detector running all the time. It kept our ancestors alive. Better to see a tiger that isn't there than miss one that is. But it overfires. So when life feels random or scary, the brain connects dots that aren't connected. And a hidden pattern appears. This is why conspiracy theories feel so satisfying. A secret plan feels safer than the world is chaotic and nobody's in charge. And smart people are great at spotting patterns. So they're especially good at finding ones that were never really there. The feeling of it all connects is intoxicating. It feels like genius. It feels like seeing what others can't. But sometimes there's no pattern, no plan, just coincidence. The one answer the human brain hates the most. The third trap. We'd rather believe in a scary pattern than accept a meaningless random world. Reason 4. Deep down your brain cares less about being right and more about belonging. For most of human history, being cast out of the group meant death, so we're wired to fit in at almost any cost. And many of our beliefs aren't really conclusions. They're team colors, badges that say, I'm one of you. When a belief is tied to your group, disagreeing with it doesn't feel like changing your mind. It feels like betrayal. Studies show smart people will defend their group's view, even when the facts clearly say otherwise. The tribe wins. Because the brain does the math. Being lonely and right feels worse than being wrong and surrounded by friends. So the smarter you are, the better you defend the belief. Not because it's true, but because it's yours and theirs. And once a belief becomes part of who you are, attacking it feels like attacking you. That's a fight and nobody wins. The fourth trap. We hold beliefs to keep our people, and truth quietly loses to belonging. Reason 3. Being brilliant in one field tricks people into thinking they're brilliant in all of them. A genius surgeon holds forth on economics. A famous physicist solves nutrition. Mastery in one lane, lost in another. Real expertise is narrow and deep, but it can feel general. Like being smart is a power you carry everywhere, so they skip the humility a beginner would have. I'm obviously intelligent, so my take here must be right too. Ironically, the more you actually know about a field, the more you realize how much you don't know. The outsider feels no such doubt, full confidence, empty caution, a recipe for believing something dumb loudly. And because they're smart, people listen. The status makes a shaky opinion sound like settled fact. Intelligence becomes a blindfold. So sure of the mind in general, they stop checking it in particular. The fifth trap. Smart. In one thing, we wrongly trust ourselves in everything. Reason 2. Long before you think about a belief, your gut has already decided. And your gut is loud. We like to believe we reason our way to conclusions. Mostly we feel the conclusion first, then reason backwards. If an idea feels right and comforting, exciting, righteous, the brain quietly stamps it true before checking. And facts are weak against feelings. You can't logic someone out of a belief their gut is emotionally attached to. A smart person just does it more elegantly. They wrap the gut feeling in sophisticated arguments and call it reason. Given a hard truth or a cozy lie, the brain reaches for comfort, then builds a clever case for why comfort is correct. Emotion is driving the car. Logic is just the passenger, narrating the trip as if it were in control. So we end up believing things because they feel good to believe, not because they survived any real test. The sixth trap. When something feels true, our clever brain stops looking and starts defending. And reason number 1, the scariest of all, challenging a false belief can make us even stronger. You'd think showing someone solid proof would change their mind. Often it does the exact opposite. Push too hard, and people don't update. They dig in. The belief hardens like a muscle that's been challenged, because by now the belief is part of their identity. An attack on it feels like an attack on them. And remember reason 7. The smart brain is a lawyer. Hit it with one fact, it fires back 10 defenses. So the more evidence you throw, the more certain they get. Facts pour in, conviction pours out. A vicious loop. This is why arguing online never works. Nobody changes their mind. Everyone just leaves more convinced they were right. The only thing that ever cracks it isn't a harder push. It's a gentle question, one that lets them feel safe to doubt. The 7th trap, and the worst. The harder the truth pushes, the harder a clever mind pushes back. So put them together. The inner lawyer, the filter, false patterns, the tribe, the expert trap, the gut, the backfire. And here's the part that should keep you humble. Every one of these is running in your head, right now, too. The moment you think, this is about the people, not me, that's the trap closing. That's reason 7 smiling. Because intelligence was never a shield against believing dumb things. It's a sword. And it cuts whichever way you aim it. The real protection isn't being smart. It's being humble enough to ask 3 quiet words. What if I'm wrong? The rarest, most powerful question the clever mind can ask itself. The cure is to argue against yourself, to steelman the other view, to go looking for where you might be mistaken, and to treat changing your mind not as losing, but as upgrading. That's not weakness. That's actual intelligence. Smart isn't knowing you're right. Smart is staying curious about the chance that you're not. So be honest with me. What's the dumbest thing you used to be totally certain about? Drop it in the comments. No judgment. We've all believed something silly with our whole chest. That's just what having a human brain feels like. If this made you question something, drop a like, comment your old belief, and subscribe for more. Stay curious. Stay humble. Class dismissed.